Welcome back to English Vault, the place where stories inspire, words teach, and motivation transforms lives. Here we believe that learning English should never feel boring. It should feel like a journey, a story, a spark that lights up your mind and your heart. Every story you hear on this channel is more than just words. It's a lesson. It's a reminder that no matter who you are, no matter where you're starting, you have the power to grow, to learn, and to shine. Today's story is a powerful one. It's called Small Acts Can Change Lives, Story of the Lion and the Mouse. This is not just a story about a lion and a mouse. It is about life, about kindness, about courage, and about how even the smallest actions can create the biggest changes. So sit back, relax, listen carefully, and let the words guide you, not only to better English, but also to a better version of yourself. Long ago, in a land untouched by humans, there was a magnificent forest. Tall trees stretched toward the sky like pillars of a great palace. Rivers danced through valleys, and the songs of birds filled the air. In this forest lived Arav, the lion. His mane was golden like the sun, and his roar could be heard for miles. Every creature respected him, not only for his strength, but also for his wisdom. He was known as the king of the forest. But Arav was not just strong. He was thoughtful. He often climbed the tallest rock at dawn, watching the sunrise and whispering to himself, "To be king is not only to rule, but to protect. To be strong is not only to fight, but to care." Far beneath the roots of an ancient tree lived a little mouse named Milo. Milo was small, shy, and often afraid. The world seemed too big for him, and sometimes he felt invisible. Other animals mocked him. "Look at that tiny mouse. What can he ever do?" But Milo carried a secret inside. Though small, his heart was full of dreams. He longed to be useful, to be seen, to prove that even the smallest creature has value. One hot afternoon, the lion lay resting in the shade of a tree. His chest rose and fell with deep breaths as he dozed off. Milo, searching for food, scurried across the grass. Without realizing, he ran across the lion's paw. The paw was as large as his whole body. Suddenly, the ground shook with a growl. Amarav opened his eyes. With one swift move, his paw pinned Milo to the ground. "Who dares disturb my rest?" the lion thundered. Milo trembled. His tiny voice squeaked. "Forgive me, O king. I meant no harm. I was only searching for food." The lion narrowed his eyes. "Why should I not eat you right now? You are so small. You would be nothing more than a snack." Gathering courage, Milo replied, "Because one day I might be able to help you." At this, the lion burst into laughter. His roar of laughter shook the trees. "You? Help me? You are smaller than my whisker. How could a mouse ever help a lion?" But deep inside, Amarav admired the mouse's bravery. Instead of killing him, he lifted his paw and said, "Go, little one. I spare your life today. But remember, do not waste your chance." Milo bowed. "Thank you, mighty king. I will never forget your kindness." Days passed, but Milo could not stop thinking about that moment. The lion had spared him, not because he had to, but because he chose compassion. Milo thought, if even the strongest creature can show kindness, then maybe I can too. From that day, Milo began practicing small acts of kindness. When he found extra grains, he shared with other mice. When he saw a bird struggling with a broken wing, he stayed by its side until it healed. When ants lost their way, he guided them back to their hill. Each act was small, but slowly Milo began to feel something change inside. For the first time, he felt valuable. He whispered to himself, "Maybe being small does not mean being useless. Maybe being small means I can do things others cannot." One evening, hunters entered the forest. They carried ropes, weapons, and nets. Their eyes were sharp, searching for the king of the jungle. Near the river, they set a giant net, hidden under leaves and branches. Later that night, Arav walked toward the water to drink. Suddenly, the ground shifted beneath him. The net sprang up, wrapping around his body. The lion roared with fury. His mighty voice shook the forest. He clawed. He pulled. But the ropes only grew tighter. The king of the forest, trapped like a prisoner. Birds flew away. Deer ran. Even the elephants, who admired him, dared not come close. Fear kept them away. For the first time in his life, Arav felt helpless. In the distance, Milo heard the roar. He froze. His heart whispered, "That is the lion, the one who spared me." Without wasting a moment, Milo rushed toward the sound. When he arrived, he saw the mighty lion entangled, his golden mane caught in ropes. Arav's eyes were tired, filled with both anger and sorrow. Milo looked up and said softly, "Do not worry, King. I am here." The lion sighed. "Little one, you cannot help me. These ropes are stronger than steel." But Milo stepped closer. "Perhaps I am small, but sometimes small teeth can do what great claws cannot." With determination, he began gnawing at the ropes. Bite after bite, hour after hour, Milo worked tirelessly. His teeth were sharp, his spirit sharper. The lion watched in silence, humbled by the tiny creature's courage. Finally, one rope snapped, then another, until at last, the great lion was free. Arav stretched his body, breathing freedom again. But instead of roaring in pride, he bowed his head toward the mouse. "Little one," he said softly, "today you have saved my life. I once laughed at the idea that you could help me. But now I see the truth. Strength is not only in size. Strength is in courage, loyalty, and kindness." Milo smiled. "And you, my king, taught me that even the smallest life has value. If you had ended my story that day, I would not be here to change yours." From that moment, the lion and the mouse became friends, an unlikely pair, but a powerful reminder that no act of kindness is ever wasted. News of their friendship spread across the forest. Animals began to change. The elephants, once proud, began helping smaller creatures cross rivers. Birds started sharing food with weaker flocks. Even the monkeys, known for mischief, became more caring. The hunters, who returned days later, saw the strange bond between lion and mouse. Amazed, they left the jungle, realizing it was not just a place of survival, it was a place of unity. What began as a single act of mercy turned into a wave of kindness across the entire forest. Now, dear listener, let us pause and reflect. This story is more than a tale of animals. It is a mirror for our lives. How often do we feel small, invisible, or powerless? How often do we say, "I am too weak. I am too ordinary. I am too small to make a difference"? But remember Milo the mouse. Remember how his small act of courage changed the fate of the king himself. And remember Arav, the lion. Even the strongest need help. Even the greatest need kindness. This story teaches us no act of kindness is ever too small. No person is ever too weak to matter, and no life is without value. So if you ever doubt yourself, whisper these words. Small acts can change lives. Smile at someone. Offer a helping hand. Forgive when you could be angry. Share when you could stay selfish. You may not see the difference immediately, but just like the mouse one day, your act might save a life, heal a heart, or inspire a generation. Thank you for listening to today's story. Small acts can change lives. Story of the Lion and the Mouse. If this story inspired you, remember, it's not just a story, it's a lesson for life and a practice for your English. On this channel, we bring you stories, lessons, and motivation to help you grow not just in language, but in life. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because every week we bring you more stories that teach, inspire, and transform. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing, because your small acts can change the world.